Hey guys, Kevin Fatty here and welcome back to video number 2 of the I Am Coaching series. Now if you've not watched video 1, please click the link above this. In the last video we talked about how easy it is for someone to turn their idea or their passion into a full-time online business. We've had numerous success stories over the years. We've had hundreds of people actually break free from the 9-to-5 job and actually get the freedom that they deserve in their life. Back 10 years ago when I started this whole online venture, things were a lot more difficult. We had to spend, you could say, weeks creating sales pages and opt-in pages. We had to worry about a lot of technical stuff. We needed to bring programmers on board to make things look good. And now fast forward 10 years later, it's just something that we never have to worry about. We discussed it in the first video, like you have tools like OptimizePress, lead funnels, ClickFunnels, that can compile a whole funnel in a matter of minutes. And it's a massive difference. To me, the biggest part would be we don't have to worry about creating the product or any of the technical stuff anymore. Our job solely as marketers, as people that want to give back, provide value, is just delivering content and creating pieces of information that we can actually sell and make a lot of money from. In today's video, what I want to talk about is some of the major turning points in my career over the past 10 years. I believe you guys are going to be able to learn a lot from my experiences, from my successes, even from my failures as well. So to me, I suppose I just want to say how I started my online business. I think everyone said the money's in the list, the money's in the list. And this was very true for me. I spent the first 3 years of my online business invested everything I could into building an actual email list. And from there, we generated a lot of money doing affiliate marketing. But I always felt that the business model was not completely sustainable, and it was actually confirmed, you could say, in around 2012. Some of our results, they started to decline. At times we were spending more money on traffic than we were actually getting back into our business, and I knew I needed a change. So one of the biggest turning points here for me was actually, I was at a marketing event in around 2011, 2012, and there was 12 different speakers on stage, and then you could say at the top of the room there was probably 30, 40 people that were a very closely knitted group. I knew all these people were doing multiple 6 figures, some even 7 figures and some 8 figures in their online business. But the shocker for me, and it wasn't really pointed out, it's just something that I noticed, that everyone that got up on stage to actually speak had their own product or their own brand or their own service. They were actually an authority. Some were authorities in copywriting, some were in mobile marketing, some was SEO, some were copywriting, some was product launching, some was Facebook advertising, some was high ticket consulting. But everyone had their own topic that they were teaching about. They were actually an authority figure in that particular niche. And to me, this was the big turning point for me. I knew that if I want to be one of these speakers up on stage, if I want to bring my business to 7 figures online, I need to start creating my own products and my own brand. So during that event, I actually shook a few hands, we made a few connections, and I returned home. I came back to New York, stand in front of the PC, and I was thinking to myself, okay, I need to get involved in this business. It's no longer about building an email list. I need to build a brand. I need to build my own products. So what we did is, we were very lucky in this case. We invested a few $100s into an actual WordPress plugin, and from there we did a small launch. I asked a few of the people that I'd met would they be interested in promoting the product. And yes, some people came on board. It was actually a massive success in that terms. You could say in the first hour we made 250 sales. In the first 24 hours we made 800 sales. And by the end of the 3-day launch we done over 1,500 sales and around $13,000 in actual revenue. Now we've done these numbers in the past in our business, but we've never done these numbers in such a short space of time. And this was actually my first product to actually ask JV Partners to come on promote. So it was really exciting for me at that time. We ended up rinsing and repeating the exact same system time and time again. We went along from WordPress plugins to creating actually information marketing products, on to creating high ticket coaching programs and so forth. And to me, I want you guys to understand the massive difference here. And it really came down to actually conversions. And that was the big eye opener for me. from all my other training and from everything I experienced previous to this time, I expected that sales pages would actually convert at around 2 or 3%. That was the industry and average. But when I brought all these JV partners on board, we actually noticed that some of the JV partners were converting at 20%, 30%, 40%. So basically, if they sent us 10 visitors, 4 of them would actually buy our product. It was extremely profitable. And to me then, I realized it's not just an email list that you must have. You must have people that have purchased your product or your service in the past. That means that they're more likely to invest in you in the future. They're more likely to invest in what you recommend. So this was a massive, massive turning point. It was, compared to having an email list, you would have a list of people who purchased from you in the past, or actually customers or potential customers. And it was just a massive, massive difference when it come to making more money online and actually scaling your business. So the following year, I decided to open a coaching program with a friend of mine called Jesse Regan. And this started out really, really good. We used to charge $1,000, $2,000 or $5,000 for different levels of coaching and different levels of access to me and Jesse. And I remember the first time we ran this campaign to 50 buyers. And it ended up generating $24,000 in the space of 48 hours. We knew we were on a winner, we knew we could deliver, we knew we could change lives with this, and we continued to market this program for actually 6 months. And me and Jesse will always look back and say, we did make a lot of money in that space of time. There was a lot of success stories created, and it was really, really good thing to do in our business. But for me personally, I believe that I was taking too much away from my daily life, from the things I enjoy doing, like my family and taking time off, socialising, whatever it may be. We noticed I was at the computer from, let's say, 8 o'clock in the morning, maybe up to 6 o'clock in the evening, consistently talking to people on the phone, trying to help people with their business. We understood people, they pay up to $5,000 for coaching. They require the best possible service, the best possible results that they can get. And it was our job to deliver that. But as I said, I just found it extremely time consuming. So after 6 months, we stopped selling the program. We continued coaching our clients that had paid for another 6 months. And the very next year, I took a complete year away from coaching altogether. I did no coaching. I didn't actually launch many products. I just wanted to actually restructure my business. And you could say this was the next major turning point. This was in 2014 when I created the I Am Coaching series, which is why you're watching this video today. The reason for the I Am Coaching series, it was I wanted to take everything that I've done with the one-on-one clients, everything that we talked about, and I wanted to put it into a group format. That way I could actually teach a lot of people for a fraction of the price. And I've got to say, this was the single best decision I've made in my online career over the past 10 years. And I just want to explain why. It was not only for me, but it was for the students as well. We had the interaction inside the Facebook group. It became like a family and a community where people would continue to help each other. Even people that had been through the program a year or two previously would keep coming back in and helping other members. Maybe they wanted to take their business to another level, they wanted to go another angle, and they would be back in the program offering help, asking questions, and just engaging in the actual group. The Facebook group, to me, it became like a closely knitted family. We've seen it over the years that when people were launching their own products, other people would come along, they would review the product, they would offer testimonials, they would promote the product, and it worked out a massive, massive advantage for everyone in the group like that. The next big plus would be on the live webinar calls, we understand that one person might have a really, really good question, and after we explain the answer, it's going to help so many other people. But not only that someone might ask a question, I would answer it, and then we would have other experienced marketers would actually have their input. We'd continue talking about the topic and just come up with the best possible solution, the best possible result for that. So to me, those were the big advantages and the big pluses of the actual I Am Coaching series. Over the years, you could say that probably one of the most important assets you can have in your online business is actually connections. We've noticed this inside our Facebook group. We've noticed this in our own career that when we went to London, we were able to meet all these other marketers. We were able to build that connection, build the trust, build a relationship. And these connections, they've lasted years. They've been responsible for hundreds of thousands of dollars in our actual pocket. It's the exact same inside our Facebook group. When someone new comes along, there's all these other experienced marketers there to help give you that actual boost. It was the same when we moved into coaching. Originally, I had Jesse Regan, who was actually a partner of mine at the time. And from there, we reached out to other people who had success in this industry. We learned some of the tips and tricks, and we applied it to our own business. So connections, guys, in this business is super, super important. If you're trying to build an online business at home and you're just sitting in front of the computer consistently working on your product, consistently reading and investing in yourself, this is all very, very good. But my advice is you should be going out there and getting involved inside of groups with other like-minded people. It's just going to be the difference of, growing your business slowly at your own pace, or being able to rapidly scale your business really, really fast using other people's connections, their leverage and authority, which we'll talk about now. I believe authority it's a really, really powerful word. You could say authority, it puts you up here. But how hard is it to get authority in today's online marketplace? I believe, there's so many different authority figures in so many niches. You don't have to be number one. You just have to be noticed and come across as the actual professional. Now, let's just take a few examples. We'll refer back to the chef. It could be as simple as going to the kitchen and actually just taking a video camera out, recording some recipes, posting them on YouTube and actually building a following. I think the important thing you need to realise is once someone reads your blog posts, looks at your YouTube videos, or you post something on Facebook, let it be educational, if these people are taking that information in and paying attention to that information, this instantly makes you the authority. So it's not difficult. Let's take another example that if I was to get the guitarist over here and he's going to teach me a few lessons on how to play guitar, if we were to record that video and upload it to YouTube, anyone watching that video is instantly going to associate this person as the authority figure, as the professional. So it's just really, really important. And the next thing I want to talk about is basically mistakes a lot of people make when they're trying to create their first product or trying to start their online business. There's two mistakes people make. The number one mistake would be trying to get everything 100% perfect all the time. It doesn't really work like that, guys. It's probably impossible for you to get everything perfect, even if it's your first run, second run, or third run. All of our launches over the years, we've always made, you could say, a certain number of mistakes in. But even if you were to implement, you could say, half of the things that I teach you, chances are you are going to have success in this business. It could be as simple as taking out the video camera and going to the kitchen, recording a presentation of how to make an actual dish, uploading that video to YouTube and actually building a following that way. The important thing to keep in mind is once someone watches that actual video of whatever the person is doing or whatever the person is teaching, they're instantly going to become the authority figure. So how fast can you become an authority in any niche? Realistically, in just a couple of hours by actually taking a little bit of action. Now, I want to cover basically two mistakes that I see all the time when people starting to build their own brand or build their own business. One is they want everything perfect from the start, and two is they want to complete everything before actually, instead of doing it step by step. So let me break this down for you. Let's take the guitarist. First it was create a book, and then it was create a video course, and then it was create a masterclass. Now to prepare all this content and have everything, you could say 90% correct, regardless, is going to take 3, 4, 5 months. It's going to take a lot of time. But if you were to break it apart step by step, let's take in the first 2 months, you create a book, you market it, you bring in a few hundred customers, or you bring in 1,000 customers, and while the business continues to grow, while the sales continue to grow, while your followers and your fan base continues to grow, you then move on and you create the next part of the course, which could be how to improve your voice. And then you already have that customer base, you've already seen the results from it, you've got momentum from it, you've got confidence from it, and then you move on to the next part and the next part. And it's a really, really exciting business because you get results and it encourages you to actually keep pushing forward and forward. On year 2, you look back at your last year and you say, well, okay, I've made so much from doing this. This year I can actually continue to market them products, continue to profit from them products, or better again, create more products and create more services, and just, you could say, double your overnight, double your yearly revenue by just continuing to do the same thing over and over again. And it's not something we actually get bored about. If you have a passion for what you're teaching, it's something, it just becomes really, really natural. It's something that you enjoy doing, and I think that's really, really important as well. So I want to talk about momentum now. I believe momentum when you start this online business it's just super, super important. There's so many distractions out there in people's lives. If you prolong things, let it be 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, chances are they never happen. So as I explained, once you start getting a little bit of results, that gives you the momentum to keep going and keep going. If you're inside a community where you've got people to actually encourage you and push you and check in on you, these are really things that are going to help you scale your online business. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. This is video number 2 of 4. Just a quick reminder, if you've not watched the first video, please just click the link above this video, watch the first video. And in the next video, guys, we're going to be talking about mass leverage hacks. I've got some really awesome content to share with you guys, and just how to grow your business, from the difference between growing your business like this yourself or actually having a lot of people around you that can help you scale up and up and up. So I look forward to seeing you in that video, and if you have any comments, if you have any questions, if you want to share some feedback, just please drop a comment below this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. This is Captain Fatty, guys. Have an awesome day.